image shows a neighborhood in Gaza before and after the Palestinian conflict. As you can see on the left-hand side, that's before the conflict happened, and on the right-hand side is after. The neighborhood is destroyed and people can't live in it anymore. Hi, my name is Haley Thomas.
Hello, my name is Jerry Park.
Hello, my name is Emma Boudreau.
Good afternoon, my name is Amir Hamza Heather, and today we will be discussing the effects of the Israel-Palestine conflict on the Middle East. So for our research question, we discussed to what extent has the Israel-Palestine conflict impacted the Middle East over the last century. And our response to this is that the Israel-Palestine conflict has majorly impacted the Middle East over the last century through the political, religious, and economic aspects.
The Israel-Palestine conflict caused a variety of repercussions in the Middle Eastern region. The lengthy war led to many protests. As a result of these events, police and law enforcement attacked and fired weapons at these protesters, further leading to the amount of people wanting to revolt. The photo here shows a protest going on in Palestine, and the photo on this side is a bombing in Palestine by Israel, which left many Palestinian families homeless and injured.
Israel political conflict. Jews migrated to Palestine in 1947 after World War II. Palestine was separated into two states, one with the Jewish majority and the other Palestinian majority. Iraq launched attacks on Israel with intent to destroy it. The Palestinian political conflict. The main resistance group was the Hamas, which is leading to attacks and conflict. They allied primarily with groups against America.
Many international interventions were created during the Israel-Palestinian War. Author Alan Dickoff states, the U.S. played a decisive role in all major peace breakthroughs through the peace treaty between Egypt and Israel. As conflicts progresses, U.S. created treaties between Arabs and Jerusalem. And then U.S. supported Israel financially and militarily with financial aid. Author David Finkel also states, one crisis within NATO and the nuclear alert, President Nixon declared Soviets threatened to intervene militarily on Egyptians' behalf, further quadrupling the price of oil. No matter how hard other countries attempt to resolve this conflict, it is continuously growing and further spreads because it is worldwide. Many regional treaties and alliances were created during the Israel-Palestine War. Both Israelis and Palestinians agreed that the two-state, one-state solution will not benefit either of their party. The two-state, one-state solution was a dispute of conflict between the ownership of the Holy Land, Jerusalem. This image you can see is how they were going to split this land with the new policy, but neither of them could agree to the fact that it was not even, and they did not want to split the Jerusalem as a whole.
Evangelical Christians support Zionism due to their belief that Jesus will return during the rapture in order to take the believers into heaven, which happens after Jerusalem is under Jewish control. Likewise, Zionist Jews also believe that their Messiah arrives only after Jerusalem is under Jewish control. Furthermore, Israel being in control of Jerusalem signals the building of the temple after which the Jewish Messiah arrives. According to interpretations of Jewish tradition on democracy by Gerald Steinberg, Jewish commentators believe that biblical narrative states that the wandering of the Jewish people in the desert is to establish their rights to sovereignty in Israel. As well as that, this image by Green Lines magazine shows Christians rallying in support of Israel, showing their allegiance due to their interpretation of biblical texts. This picture by The Guardian shows the Al-Aqsa Mosque located in Jerusalem, which is one of Islam's 3 holy sites. A major reason as to why Palestine has such large global Muslim support is due to the significance of the Al-Aqsa Mosque. According to the Islamization of the Palestinian-Israeli conflict by Mayor Litwick, the Al-Aqsa Mosque was where the Prophet Muhammad ascended to heaven and was the first location for direction of prayer for the Muslims, as well as that caliphs of Islam in the past had conquered the land of Palestine, further giving it a historic Islamic attachment.
Refugees often stress out host countries. This image is a prime example of refugees doing that in Jordan, a host country for Palestinians. There's simply not enough resources to host all of the Palestinians incoming from the conflict, and as you can see there, they're living in tents and just not good enough conditions. But on the other hand, many Palestinians are able to find jobs in other countries and stimulate the economies of their host countries because they're still interacting with their home countries and buying things, and yeah. Many countries also in the region have little access to water. Jenny Sowers, a professor of political science at the University of New Hampshire, explains how most countries have as little as 1,000 cubic meters of water per person, which limits economic growth and development. Salination plants like the one in this image have been implemented all throughout the region to help the availability of water and increase the GDP. Many regions also suffer from the remaining weapons from the conflict. Amory Houston explains how guerrilla warfare has resulted in over 130,000 landmines sown into the region and has made farming hard and deadly.
Resolution and long-term impact. The Israel and Palestine war has majority impacted the development of the Middle East throughout the past century due to imbalances that have impacted religious, political, and economic factors. The Israel-Palestine war is still ongoing and has affected many innocent lives. This could expand into bigger worldwide conflict with advancing new technologies that could escalate out of hand. Thank you.
You're too close. Okay, we'll start here and work our way across. If you had a fifth member of your team, what could they have added to the presentation that would have made it better?
I think if we had a fifth member, we would have wanted them to probably do the historical aspect, as this conflict has been ongoing for a very long amount of time, for more than 70 years, and both sides have a long history. Both the Muslims and Jews have a long history attached to the land of Jerusalem, so we wanted them to address like the historical aspects of the conflict.
Okay. Emma, describe an argument from one of your peers' individual reports that makes you think differently about the solution that you guys came up with, or the resolution you came up with.
I think the one that's makes me think the most is Leia's. Her like political side was thinking like ahead in the future, and you kind of see like the alliances and the different treaties that could make like a difference between the ongoing conflict.
All right. Was there any argument that from one of your team IRs that you guys didn't use, and why didn't you use it?
From Emma's IR, we didn't really use her perspectives of how like it affects the future kind of, or I'm sorry, G-Ranks. We didn't use how it affects the future, and we really focused on kind of like the most recent like past of it, rather than how the treaties and stuff will affect it in the future.
Okay. And save the best for last. Which of their IRs gave you the best understanding of the whole situation?
I think Amir's IR helped me the most to understand how this conflict really is. It helped me go into deep dive into the religious aspect of it, how the conflicts between the two parties really goes through deep, and then how all it is fight over the Holy Land, and how much of a difference in conflict they're going to arguing about the difference in religion and difference in their views as a people.
All right, you're done.